take a slow breath in and just notice that you are here, listening, with a brain that is already changing because of what you are paying attention to right now. Tonight, I want to talk to you about something that is both deeply scientific and profoundly personal. How your experience, your sense of novelty, and your attention physically reshape your neural pathways. How repeated thoughts become durable networks, and how your very identity, who you believe you are, becomes encoded into synaptic patterns. We are going to gently separate two very different ways of living: passive plasticity, where life shapes you, and purposeful intelligence, where you shape yourself. And along the way, I will show you 4 master variables that drive these changes in your brain: intention, emotional salience, repetition, and context. As you listen, you don't have to remember every sentence. Your conscious mind can relax. What matters is that your brain hears, recognizes, and begins to organize itself around these ideas. Let's begin with something very simple and very powerful. Your brain is not a static machine. It is a living architecture, soft, responsive, constantly remodeling itself in response to how you live, what you notice, and what you repeatedly do. Every experience you have sends signals through networks of neurons. Some of those signals are quiet and fleeting, like footsteps in soft sand that disappear with the next wave. Others are intense, repeated, and emotionally charged, carving deep paths like rivers cutting through rock. Over time, the brain begins to favor those pathways. It strengthens the connections you use the most. It prunes away those you neglect. This is neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change its structure and function based on experience. Now, imagine you are walking through a field of tall grass. The first time you cross it, the grass bends slightly, but quickly springs back. That is like a one-time thought or a single experience. But if you walk that same route again and again, the grass flattens, the soil compresses, and a trail forms. Eventually, you don't even have to think about where to walk. Your feet simply find the path. The brain does the same thing. Repeated thoughts build durable networks. If you repeatedly tell yourself, "I can't learn this," or "I'm always behind," or "people can't be trusted," those aren't just phrases. They are electrical patterns, and each repetition is like walking that same path in the neural field, pressing it deeper into your brain's landscape until it becomes the default route your mind takes. On the other hand, if you repeatedly engage with the world as "I can figure things out," or "I learn quickly," or "there is something useful in every challenge," those thoughts also become pathways, routes that your brain begins to prefer. The key insight is this: your mind doesn't just travel through pathways, it builds them. Now, let's talk about experience and novelty. Not all experiences are equal in the way they impact your brain. Your brain is constantly filtering: is this important? Is this new? Is this relevant to my survival, my goals, my identity? When everything feels the same, the brain tends to coast on existing patterns. But when something stands out, something unexpected, emotionally charged, or meaningful, that's when plasticity comes alive. Novelty is like a bright signal to the brain that says, "Pay attention. This matters. Update the map." Consider how your first day at a new job feels compared to your 100th day. On day 1, your brain is alert, scanning, taking in every detail. You remember where things are, who people are, how the place smells, how your body feels. By day 100, you can drive to work almost on autopilot, barely remembering the commute. The novelty has faded. The pathways are established. The practical tip here is simple but profound. If you want your brain to change, you must introduce novelty into areas that have become automatic. Change your patterns, even in small ways. Take a different route, work in a new environment, speak differently about yourself, experiment with new strategies, ask new questions. Novelty wakes the brain up. It tells your nervous system, "We're doing something new. Let's pay attention. Let's rewire." That brings us to the most important steering wheel of neuroplasticity: attention. Think of attention as a powerful spotlight in a dark theater. Many things are happening on the stage of your life: memories, emotions, external events, background thoughts. But what gets lit up by the beam of your attention is what your brain will prioritize for wiring. Even right now, simply by directing your attention to the feeling of your breathing, you are slightly increasing the strength of the circuits that represent body awareness. If you shift your attention to your worries, you feed those circuits. If you bring your attention to a vision of your future self, calm, capable, clear, you're feeding those circuits instead. The rule is straightforward. Where attention goes, neural growth flows. So if you wish to change your brain, one of the most practical things you can do is this: start catching where your attention naturally runs to, and gently but consistently redirect it toward thoughts, images, and sensations that reflect the kind of person you want to become. Not with harsh force, not with self-criticism, simply with repeated, intentional redirection. Every redirection is a small act of purposeful intelligence. Every time you choose to notice something empowering instead of something draining, you're sending a small signal to your brain: build this, not that. Over days, weeks, months, these signals add up.